Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm in the process of making my breakfast. I'm going to have 2 slices of this Ezekiel bread toast with some of this raspberry, organic rhubarb, raspberry cherry rhubarb jelly on it, which is really good. Got both of these at Costco. And then I'm going to have one of these fig bars. Now, I want to talk about something that's a pet peeve of mine. Oh, and I'm also going to have my normal cup of coffee that's still cooking over there. This fig bar is nice and packaged, and it looks kind of like the size of a granola bar. And on the back, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this. Don't think you can. The lighting's not great. It says serving calories per serving 90. Servings per container 2. See there? It's got 2 little cookies in there. They look like little fig Newtons. I think this is very deceptive packaging, because if you're just thinking, you normally would think a package is a serving. And you're thinking, okay, if you're watching your calories, you think, oh, 90 calories for that big bar? That's a great deal. Well, if you're not looking and reading that there's actually 2 servings in this little package, which is actually 180 calories, not 90. So I think that's pretty stinky. And then the other thing, I bought these organic breakfast biscuits, multigrain chocolate chips. It says serving size 2 cookies, calories 120. And well, that's not too bad for 2 cookies. So you open it up and you pull out, and look at this. There are 4 cookies in this package. So once you open this up and you eat 2 cookies, especially if you're like out on the road, because I thought I'd throw these in my purse or in my car to eat when I'm running errands and I get hungry. What the heck are you going to do with the other 2 cookies? Most people are not going to save them, because they'll get crumbs everywhere and you can't seal the package back up. So they're just going to go ahead and eat all of them. So instead of getting 120 calories, you're going to get 240. And then they wonder why people are becoming so obese. It's because of packaging. Packaging is so deceptive, and that just ticks me off royally. If someone's not careful about what they're, purchasing, or not just calories but serving size, you get way more than you intended. So I'm going to be eating 1 of these fig Newtons with my breakfast this morning. They're apple cinnamon fig bars and 2 pieces of toast. So I just wanted to put that out there for you. If you guys are care about your calorie content, if you're watching your calories and counting them, be sure you check serving size as well. So here's my breakfast this morning. 2 pieces of Ezekiel bread toast with jelly, 1 apple cinnamon fig bar, and a cup of coffee. I'm going to go enjoy this breakfast, and then we'll see what happens as we go through our day. I was asked a couple of times by you guys if I menu plan, and yes, I do, and I have been for several years, and I've tried all different ways of doing it, and I found this to be the easiest for me, and I keep coming back to this method. And what I do is I just print out one of these blank calendar sheets that you can find on the internet just about anywhere, and then I put the month at the top, and then I put the days of the week, and then I just look at another calendar and I put the dates, the days of the week on there, the numbers. And then I just go through and I keep like this is my August one, and then I've been working on my September one because September's coming up quickly. And I compare the 2 because I don't like to cook too many, the same things too often. But I do some things pretty similarly. Well, like for Sundays, for instance, they're all marked off with, nothing there. And that's because we have a carry-in lunch at our church every Sunday. So I just bring something to share. I don't have to cook a full meal. And then we eat lunch there, and then for supper later in the evening, a lot of times the family's not even very hungry because they've had a big lunch. But anyway, it's pretty much, fend for yourself on Sunday evenings. If you want to fix a bowl of popcorn and have that be your supper, if you want to eat leftovers or whatever, I don't really, whatever they want to eat, they can eat. And I don't really cook on Sundays. It's my day of rest. So that's what we do for Sundays. And then Tuesdays, it's always the same. We do crock pot meals on Tuesdays, and that's because starting in September, every second and fourth Tuesday, we have co-op. And we're gone pretty much all day. We leave early in the morning, and we get back about 2 o'clock in the afternoon usually. And I'm pretty tired by the time we get back, and I definitely don't feel like trying to cook something. So what I do is either the night before or that morning before we leave for co-op, I will throw a meal in the crock pot. Turn it on low, and then it's ready. It's actually ready when we get home at 2 o'clock. And a lot of times if it is done, I'll put my crock pot on keep warm until supper time. But then supper is all done. And so I just decided that Tuesdays was going to be my crock pot day, every Tuesday. And I get a lot of my recipes from this book, Fix It and Forget It cookbook. I use this one a lot. It has some really good recipes in there. You should try to find it at your library and check it out and see if you like it as much as I do. And then the other things on my menu plan that kind of stay the same are on Thursdays. Every other Thursday I go grocery shopping, and because I go every other week, and that's when I do all my errands. A lot of times it's more than just grocery shopping. It's banking, going to the post office. All my running around in town is done that day. It takes me pretty much all day to do my grocery shopping. And yet again, there's another day where I just don't feel like cooking when I get home. I'm tired and I just don't want to do anything else. By the time I film my grocery haul and get all my groceries put away, I'm pretty tired, and it's usually time to start supper by that time. So I just pick up those frozen chicken strips from Aldi's, and we have chicken strips and French fries every other week on Thursdays. Now the rest of the calendar is just whatever, Usually on Mondays I do like pasta dishes, not for any particular reason, it just kind of worked out that way. Like, so we have spaghetti and lasagna, and I usually do a meatloaf once a month, and it's usually on a Monday. I don't know why, Meatloaf Monday, I guess. And so that's what I do on Mondays. And so that's how I do my menu planning. And it really works out well for us. We usually have tacos at least once a month. I would prefer to have them twice a month because they're kind of my favorite meal, but the family gets kind of tired of it. Oh, and then the other thing is the third Friday of every month we go to Costco in the evenings, my husband and I. It's kind of like our date night, and I don't cook supper on that day either. I just usually eat a little something before we go, and then Scott picks up something at the Costco cafe, a hot dog or a slice of pizza or whatever he feels like having. And then the kids, both my kids are teenagers, and they're perfectly capable of fending for themselves, and so they can fix their own supper, eat whatever they want, leftovers, macaroni and cheese, frozen pizza, whatever. It's up to them. I don't tell them what to fix, and if they want to just eat a peanut butter and jelly, that's fine too. And so I don't really care what they eat on Costco night. It's another night for me to just have kind of a break from cooking. So that's the way we do our menu planning. And then I can just look on here and figure out my grocery list. And I pretty much stick to what I have written down. As you can see on my September one, I haven't thought of anything for the September 1st yet, but the rest of the meals are filled in. But once in a while, I'll look on here and see what I have scheduled, and I think, oh, I'm not in the mood for that today. So I'll look on the meal plan and see what I can switch. I'll switch it out, like, oh, I don't really want tetrazzini, I'd rather have Salisbury steak. So I'll switch it. I'll put tetrazzini down here and we'll do Salisbury steak. So it's not written in stone. It's like it's not that I can't deviate from it if I decide I'm not in the mood for that, but it does definitely help give me an idea, and it takes the guesswork out of things. And there's like nothing worse than looking at the clock and seeing it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon and you have absolutely no idea what you're fixing for dinner. I hate that. I'd rather be able to say, look on my calendar and say, what did I have planned for the day, for today? I usually look at it in the morning when I'm fixing my breakfast, because if it's something that needs to get put in the crock pot or something that needs to be taken out of the freezer, I can do it in the morning, and then by that afternoon, I know exactly what I'm doing. It takes the guesswork out of everything, and I'm more prepared that way. So yeah, that's what we do. My menu plan is on the side of the refrigerator. I taped one of these sheet covers, these plastic sheet covers, and I just slide it right in there. And so it's right here by my sink. So in the mornings when I'm getting breakfast, I just look over here, see what's on the meal plan for the day. Like today we are having fried rice for dinner tonight. So I know to plan for that and get the rice cooked early enough and all that good stuff. So that's how we do our meal plan. Now Olivia and I are going to go over to my dad's house and clean his house for him. It's been a couple of weeks since it's been cleaned well, and so we need to go do that. And then this afternoon my dad and I are going to work on getting our brooder house set up for the chicks that should be coming the end of this week. That's what we've got going on. So we will talk to you later. Well, we got Dad's house cleaned and we got started on the brooder house, getting it set up for the chicks, but we need to wait till my husband gets home so he can help us move the light, the heat light, where it needs to be. So that job's not completely done, and it's 2:30 in the afternoon already. Where my day has gone, but right now I'm in the process of getting some baking done, and I will bring you over and show you what I'm making. I am making toasted coconut quinoa breakfast cookies. They're really, really good, and they're kind of like, they turn out like the muffin tops, the tops of muffins. They're really tasty, and they're full of really nutritious foods. And the one specialty ingredient is the quinoa cereal, and that's what this stuff is. Heritage Farms, Ancient Grains. It's got more than just quinoa in it, but this is all I could find. I couldn't, well actually that's not true. If I remember right, they did have the quinoa flakes, but they were like 4 times as expensive as this. So I went ahead and opted for this cereal instead. But that cereal has been around here for a while, and I want to just use it up because I'm sure it's getting stale. So I had to like triple the recipe. So I'm not going to give you amounts as I do the recipe. I'll just put the original recipe in the description box below. So if you want to make these, you can. So in this bowl I've got eggs. I'm going to get those beating up. And to that I'm going to add the nut butter. Now you can use any kind of butter you want. It suggests cashew butter, which I don't have, so I'm just going to use peanut butter. So you add peanut butter to that, honey, a banana, egg, and vanilla are in this bowl. Okay, so mix it in this bowl. Again, I'll say we have eggs, honey, banana, vanilla, and peanut butter. Mix it in there, and then in this bowl we've got coconut, oatmeal, or rolled oats, and then that quinoa flake cereal. And to that we have to add some salt and some baking powder. And we need to mix that up well. So let me put you back on the tripod. Yeah, I've made these cookies, breakfast cookies before, and they're really delicious. And they fill you up, and they're full of nutrition, and they're full of good food. clean ingredients, and so I would highly recommend that you try this. So let's get this wet ingredients mixed in with the dry ingredients. Doesn't look all that appetizing like this, but trust me, these things are really tasty. Scrape all this down. I really like to scrape my bowls well. Now I cut back on the amount of honey that they called for in the recipe because I used sweetened coconut, and of course the bananas are sweet. So I think I've said this before in my videos, that I found that you can really cut back on the amount of sweetener that is called for in recipes, and you won't even miss it. Because I think that I don't know why, but they want our diets to be too full of sugar, it seems to me. So you just mix this well. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I guess you can. Make sure all these ingredients are incorporated well. And then the last thing you add, well, not the last thing, almost the last thing you add, are some chia seeds. And the chia seeds will add thickness to the dough. It will absorb a lot of the liquid and help your breakfast cookies to stick together better. So once you get this all mixed up, if you find that your batter seems to be too loose or too runny, just add some more rolled oats. That's what I ended up having to do. I think sometimes when you freeze bananas, they get juicier than if you just use a fresh banana. And I think the reason why my batter was a little bit runny or a little bit too loose was because the bananas had extra water in them. So then the last thing you add, and you don't have to add this is totally optional, but I always love to add some chocolate chips to just about anything I bake. So I'm going to go ahead and just add this whole package in here because this is a lot of batter. Mix the chocolate chips in well. Just kind of fold them in. And it looks kind of like oatmeal cookie batter. Oatmeal chocolate chip. But it's way healthier for you. And there was no added fat to this. The only fat that would be in it would be from the yolks, from the eggs. And that's a healthy fat. Okay, so then once your batter's all mixed up, what you do is you take a cookie sheet and you line it with parchment paper. And then you take an ice cream scoop, because you want these to be generous sized cookies. Take an ice cream scoop and you scoop them out onto your cookie sheet. Then, once you get your cookie sheets filled, you put these in a 350-degree oven and you bake them for, let me check, for 15 to 18 minutes. So let me go ahead and get the cookie sheets all filled and get these in the oven. And when they're done, I'll bring you back and let you see what they look like. Okay, so here they are, the coconut quinoa breakfast cookies. They made quite a few, and you can see in my hand, they're quite large. That would make a nice breakfast on the go or with a cup of coffee. And they are very tasty. So I'm letting Virginia out for a little bit so she can eat grass and do what chickens do. She's such a cutie pie. So while she's out, I thought I'd bring you over and we'll just check out the ducks and see how they're doing. It's been kind of one of those days where I feel like I've gotten nothing accomplished. Hi, ladies! They think it's time for their snack, but it's not. Hi there, Oliver. I wondered where you were at. Oh, they're going to all go inside. Silly ducks. I discovered where Oliver's been spending the night. I'll have to show you when I walk back the other direction. I'll show you where he's been hanging out at night, sleeping. Well, I'll walk around. You're very loud. You interrupted me. I'll walk around the other side and see if we can get some pictures of the ducks, but they'll probably go outside then, silly ducks. They're very vocal this afternoon. This little ducky, this is Harriet, I think. Harriet or Penelope, I couldn't tell them apart. She's been hanging out in here quite a bit. I don't know if the other ducks are being mean to her or what. Hi, ladies. Sad not having Marcia, isn't it? Sad not having Marcia. Okay, well, let's walk up the other direction and I'll show you where Oliver's been sleeping. Our back deck, or our side deck, this is the main entrance to our house. The one that we use, I should say. It's not the front entrance, it's the side entrance. And he has been spending the last several nights sleeping right on that doormat. And my husband accidentally bumps him with the door in the morning when he has to leave for work, because he leaves for work at like 5 in the morning. And it's still dark. So I don't know. I don't know what's possessed him to want to sleep there, but that's what he's doing. Whenever I let Virginia out, Oliver comes back here and crows and runs up and down the fence line and acts like a complete ding-dong. I don't know if he's trying to impress her or what, but she's not interested in the least. She could care less whether he's prancing around and acting like a ding-dong. Oliver, she's not interested. And besides that, she's your sister. You just need to go away. She's not interested. It doesn't matter how hard you crow. She's not interested. Silly chickens. I could stand here and watch her all day because she's so cute. There he goes, running. Chickens are so funny when they run. Look at him. Oh dear. While Virginia's enjoying some out of her pen time out in the grass, I'll walk you over and show you the brooder house that we got put together today. Pretty much ready for the chicks. I just need to go to the feed store and get some starter feed. Probably do that tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon, Olivia and I are going to be babysitting for our pastor's kids, so I need to get that done in the morning. So we got it in a ring, and that's just flashing, metal flashing. And the ring is because little chicks, when they, for whatever reason, will find a corner and huddle themselves up in it and pile on top of each other and then suffocate the ones underneath. And you can lose chicks that way. So if you put us in a circle, they can't do that because there's no corner. And then inside there we have about 2 inches of wood chips, animal bedding, and then we've got a thick layer of newspaper on top of that. And the newspaper will only be in there for like a few days, 2 or 3 days. and that is to keep the chicks from eating the wood chips. Now I know a lot of you don't mess with the newspaper part of it because you're afraid they might get splay leg or because of a slippery surface, but this is the way my dad has been doing it for, I don't know, 60 years, and he's never had a problem. So that's the way we'll do it. And then we've got the heat lamp, and of course we can raise and lower it as necessary. And then over on that wall we've got a thermometer, because for the first week it has to be kept at 90 degrees. And during the day I don't think that'll be a problem, but at night, obviously, you know, we'll have to make sure that it stays 90 degrees in here. And then after every week, as the chicks turn a week older, then you can lower it by 5 degrees. So when they're a week old, it has to be at 85 degrees. When they're 2 weeks old, 80 degrees, and on down until they're fully feathered out, and then you don't have to have the heat lamp anymore. So that's the brooder house. It's all ready to go. It's been disinfected, and oh, and then here's the little feeding trays and the waterers. And the first couple of days we're going to use cardboard egg cartons. We'll cut the flap off and the lid off, and then put the chick starter just in the egg carton. Not the plastic ones or the styrofoam ones, but the cardboard ones. It's just because they're small. You know, the chicks are little, and so they need easy access to their food. Also, another thing about these, we're going to get the Cornish cross meat chicks is what we're going to get. And the first week you leave food 24/7, and then after that, when the chicks turn a week old, or closer to 2 weeks, week and a half, you put the food. Cornish cross chickens are bred for meat chickens, and they're bred to grow very fast. You actually start butchering them at around, well, you can start as early as 6 weeks, but we'll probably start about 7 weeks because we want them to be a little bit bigger. But that's the whole idea, is so that you don't have to feed them for very long. It's the most cost-effective way to raise meat chickens. But if you leave food down 24/7, then they grow too fast, and then that's why you end up with, they grow so heavy that their legs cannot support their weight. So that's why you limit their food, and they'll grow at a more steady rate and not have the lameness that can happen. But these chickens are also, you can't hold them over. You can't like make a pet out of them or try to keep some hens and hatch your own eggs, because they will get so heavy that they will become lame and not able to walk. So that's what makes it a little bit easier for us to butcher chickens. Some people think, there's two views on this. One view is, well, that's just not natural, that's not the way it should be, and I want a chicken that can, if I decide I don't want to butcher it, that will survive and be fine. And then there's the other side of the coin where you just want to get them for meat, you want to get it done and over with, and we look at it like we're doing these chickens a favor by butchering them, because they would not have a quality of life if we didn't. And this is what they were bred for. They were bred for meat. So that's why we do it. That's why we don't go with other breeds of chickens. There's lots of other chickens you can get that will, well, any chicken you can butcher, but there's other varieties of meat chickens that you can get that grow slower. That, you know, may take 3 months to get to butchering size or whatever. But we just like the ones that we can get it done and over with, because butchering is not a fun job, not for us. So anyway, that's our brooder house update. Got to go in and get supper finished, and when I get it done, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, this is what's for dinner. Fried rice with peas and ground turkey. And the family's also going to have egg rolls with that. But I, unfortunately, can't eat egg rolls. I love them, but I can't eat them. Okay, so that's what's for dinner. Okay, everyone, I think I'm going to close the vlog out here. It's we just got done with supper, and I still need to exercise and take a shower. and do my outside chores. And tonight's our favorite night of television. America's Got Talent is back on after being off for 2 weeks because of the Olympics. So we're really looking forward to watching that. So I'm going to get this closed out, get it edited and uploaded tonight. And so we will talk to you all later. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye, friends.